Hey everybody, we've changed the name from Make Money Online in Africa. I haven't adjusted the logo image yet, and I have a temporary image today that I'm about to put on the screen because I can't find it on the SD card. But this is very, very important, which is why I am recording this now and uploading this to you guys. The question that you have now to ask yourself: do I have 1 hour today? Really, do I have an hour? Now, what's going to happen in this hour? Before we get to that hour, and before we answer that question, let's give a little bit of a backdrop. The entire system, you call it Matrix, you call it the rat race, you can call it whatever you want. But if we refer to this as the Matrix is designed to make you fail. It's not here to help you, it's here to make sure that certain people have the power and control. And power is never given, power is taken. So if you want to get power, you got to take it, a piece of that, a chunk of that, all of it away from the people that are there to control you. Just like they forced you into your situation, you got to force them to give up their power. Maybe you're not the same way as them and greedy and want to take everything, but they are. Africa, even more than other places. Other places, they're designed to make the people fail too. Don't get me wrong. But Africa, Caribbean, and where it comes to black people are concerned worldwide, it is a double whammy. Yes, you may be a non-black, non-African person listening to this and can get a benefit, but this is to my family worldwide, particularly in Africa, in the Caribbean, and in the States and everywhere too. The reason why it's there is because a poor Africa makes a rich Europe. We mean white. Doesn't just mean people in Europe. A poor Africa makes a rich Europe. So how do you break out of that with just an hour? Well, here's the answer. First, do you have an hour? I would argue that you do. There's 24 hours in a day. You're on sleep some parts of it. And if you have a job right now, let's stay with the people that have a job. We're going to get to the ones that don't. Many in Nigeria do not. And there are people from Nigeria subscribe to this. Many all over Africa do not. But that's okay. For the people that have a job, maybe you're working 8 hours, 10 hours a day. Maybe more, maybe less. Well, there's a period of time when you get home and you're just swiping on TikTok, right? You're swiping on TikTok and you're looking at it and you're doing something, right? You're on a YouTube video like this one. You're on social media posts. You're on WhatsApp posting up status updates for what reason? Are you promoting a business or are you just posting a post, right? Now, if your business isn't growing, that means you lack the art of persuasion, for one. And two, you're also, which means you need to learn that. That is a valuable skill to persuade other people. Everybody's selling something every single day, every single moment. Let's say that you agree on an idea, they sold you on the idea by sharing it with you. You disagree on the idea, they failed to sell you on that idea, so you disagree with it. You see, that's still an act of persuasion. Whether you are able to persuade people to buy from you or not, hey, there you go. Now, if you're just willy dilly dallying with your time and you say, hey, I need a release. This day was hard, it's stressful, it's all of this. Okay, hey, I understand. But use 1 hour per day, maybe two. And you start to learn those skills. You start to build your brand. And your goal, in my opinion, should just be working 4 or 6 hours a day. That's it. That's what you want to do, right? You don't want to, because a lot of people feel their mindset of, let me just work this until I can quit my job, and then I'll do this and take the exact same hours that I was doing to my job with this. But if you're able to quit your job with only working an hour, 2 hours, maybe three, four a day, and then sometimes you're going to go higher or lower throughout the year, of course. Only short periods of time you may go higher. But think about this: if you're able to quit your job and sustain yourself with using an hour, wouldn't it just make sense to continue doing that? And then once you figure out how to make more money, obviously it took more knowledge and it takes more time. So you temporarily go up higher and then you come back down to that 4 or 6 hours per day that like I said should be our goal. We're not meant here to just be slaving away all day, all night. I've done that. It really is diminishing returns. So since you got 1 hour, dedicate that number one to building your brand. You start to create that content. You do that on the social media. You go out there and you knock on the doors. Now, you say, what do I build? Well, that comes to the question with you. What are you looking to sell? If you are like many of the people that I have now have contact with on WhatsApp and other places, they're selling things that a lot of other people are doing. For the ladies, they're doing a lot of nails, doing hair. Usually that just means selling wigs, not really doing the hair, right? Selling wigs. Some of them, a few of them, a handful, they got like the high quality wigs and everything. Other people are working in bars, clubs, doing those things. Now, if you already have those businesses, others are selling clothes. Some that make them and some that resell. Others do perfume. Now, all of these things here. How do you then be able to take this where you're standing all freaking day? Some of you guys have a shop and now you're trying to grow that. You're in the shop. Some of you have the fortune or misfortune of not having a shop. If you don't have a shop and you're selling these, there are so many of you that I've told personally. You may be watching this video. Many of you don't watch this video. I haven't really told you. I'm just putting it out there for the people new that will see me on YouTube. But for the people that did find me, I've told you to go out there and actually walk up to people. Give them something extra. When they buy something, you give them a thank you card. You give them, let's say you're selling clothes, you give them a little thank you card. Maybe put a little candy treat in there, peppermint or something like that, or some other minty thing. It's always good. You want something that spices them up and wakes them up. And then you give them the card. It has some kind of perfume on it, a nice smelling scent that's there. Obviously, everybody doesn't agree with certain scents, but you get a nice smelling scent. You spray that, put it in a plastic and wrap or whatever like that, like sandwich bag or something, and you give it to them. Yeah, that costs a little bit of extra money, and maybe you're just making it day to day. At some point, you got some extra money. You know why? Because you ate some junk food at one point as a release. You went out somewhere as a release, so that you took as a release, which nothing wrong with that, you know. You could use instead that to buy something that you give people, and now they're like, wow, this person gave me something extra for free. And yeah, it costs you something. Many of you don't want to go to the areas with the people with money. Can you spend an hour researching the locations where people have money and you do it day by day? You see, a lot of people are looking to do things all at once, but if you're on this video, you're probably the person that's been trying things for years, not just yesterday. You tried things for years. How has that gotten you? If you're at this video and you're struggling and you've been doing things for years, months, and all of this, and it isn't working, your strategy don't work. Your strategy does not work. So why don't you try the one I'm saying, right? Yeah. So that may work for you. See, it's all about adjusting to markets at the time. And while we are going through a global Great Depression, there are still people increasing their sales, increasing their money, and increasing their wealth, and getting their name on the board. Okay? You want to be one of those people that is starting to level up in this game of life adventure. Okay? Now, for the people that are only just working for themselves, don't have a job that's working for anybody else. Oh, yeah, let me get this one thing out of the way. A lot of you people, I say you people, a lot of you have an excuse and say, I'm a student. What does that mean? You mean I'm lazy? There are many of us that have been students and still work something at the same time. Well, you can't do both at the same time or something. And there's not this many huge high areas where you got to study. Man, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. You types make excuses for damn near everything. You're so beaten down in it and worn out. And like I said, the system is meant for you to get into that helpless state. It's meant for you to live day by day so you don't have the energy to think. But this video right here is supposed to snap you out of it. You so used to losing that you just make an excuse for everything. Every time I'm saying something to you guys, you're saying, "Oh, I'm a student." Okay, is that supposed to be a rebuttal? Big whoop. How can I do that when I need to study? You mean go to a class that's potentially going to make you money? Again, designed by the system to make you fail. So how is that really helping you? And this video right here that you would spend about 15 or 30 minutes listening to, it's giving you the keys to make money as soon as you get off of this. It's going to require some work. You didn't need to listen to this for years. You don't have to do all of these little weird things, but I am going to give you an assignment. This assignment then puts you out to making money. This is no damn excuse. We don't take excuses around here. Okay, if it's that hard, why don't you fight against your government? Get one of the people, start overturning the European powers that control your puppet leaders, and do that. If you ain't doing that, buck up and start doing something else and build a life for yourself. A student is not a good enough excuse. I'm tired is not a good enough excuse. It's, it's how it is over here in Nigeria. It's like it is in Kenya. Man, people say that all over. I mean, in the UK, they're like, you don't know how it is in the UK. You don't know how it is in the US. Man, everybody, the losers are always complaining about something. And I understand, we're all at a losing state at some point in our lives. So, I hit that point home. You can either be on a losing team and stay there. You may have started off losing. You didn't choose to be born here. Okay, great. Now you can go from losing. Remember, if a winner is there, you got to maintain winning. And if you got a huge lead, at some point, it's like, yo, I got almost 100% of this. Yeah, you can't really get 100% because there's other people on the board. So what you're going to do next? Well, that means you got to give up some of that. And when they give up some of their wealth, because they have to, you should be one of the people that's grabbing that. Get it? Now, for the people that don't work for somebody else and you're working for yourself, now that we got all the excuses out of the way, you got to develop. And I'm teaching you what I'm doing here. And we got a private group for that, right? That's $30 a month, by the way. I've seen people with these channels and marketing toward Africa, and they're charging $100 a month. Been there, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? No, you're just trying to do a cash grab, because the information that you're giving and what you're doing, yeah. If I'm gonna charge you $30 a month, people, you're gonna get at least that $30 in value, so that you can at least pay that, right? That should be doable. Yeah, some of you are like, man, I don't even make that in 1 month. Convert it to your currency. Hey, $30 per month, and you're going to get actionable information that gives you more than $30 of value. Right? So here's something that I want you to come into mind. If you're not working for somebody else, you got 24 hours in a day. Why don't you go travel out? You got your business idea. You got your plan, right? Assuming you already have one. If you don't got one, now you got to start brainstorming with that. It's going to take a little while. And you spend at least 1 hour. Now, travel time might increase that, but the work portion of this, spend 1 hour. Start walking up to people, and you're building awareness of that. You're going to practice the skill of persuasion. If you got perfumes to sell, you're going to start saying, okay, here's how I'm selling this perfume. Okay, not working. I did this for a month, maybe 2 months. I only got this many sales. Not enough to take care of myself. Okay, that means you start to learn and try and adjust new techniques in order to sell the perfume. Maybe you wear a different dress or a suit that you're going out there and see what happens when you do that. Maybe you approach with a smile all the time, like you're very happy. Oh, hey, how you doing? Instead of even if the sun is beating a person down, you're coming there with a beaming ray of light. You are supposed to be in a happy. Happy people make more money. Imagine somebody at a restaurant serving you food and they're seemingly in a negative state, or they're just neutral. Now, compare that to when you're going in a restaurant eating food and this person is just smiling, they're giggling with you, they just seem overjoyed. You just had a bad day. You're having a bad day, or just had you were working your day and you're just kind of worn out, and you get this person with this high energy in there, you start to feel a little bit good. That's the infection you want to give people. Now, you see what I just did there? I just gave you something right there. You selling the same product. All you did was decide to smile now. Decide to be giggly, bubbly. Decide to be so now some of you are not used to it, so you're gonna seem like you're selling something. And then you eventually you're gonna adjust from the oh hey, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm so happy to hey guys. Yeah, it's just hey, look at this. We got this new perfume right here. Look at this. I think that'll really fit with your outfit that you got there. Oh, your wife would love this. See, you're selling to the guys too because they're buying it for the girlfriend. Another thing you could do, learn the psychology of the people that you're selling to. If you're selling those perfumes, who's usually the ones buying it? Okay, if you're selling to guys, men are going to spend more money. Number one, they're trying to impress the lady, give a gift, do all of these things. Okay, if you're going to sell to guys and you're going to focus on them, why? Think about why they are buying the perfume for the woman. Put your mindset in there and then appeal to that. If you are selling weight loss to a person and you're a trainer, you're selling sex appeal, as Jason Black said. See, the woman is there trying to fit in a thong or panties and bra, the lingerie better. She's trying to get attention from men when she's wearing that dress. Instead, you talk about nutritional value. Instead, when you're selling a perfume, getting back to that, what are you selling? Are you selling the scent, or are you selling the connection, the togetherness, the sensuality of that person? And then you start approaching that and you start to appeal to that. The man is trying to impress the woman, connect to her, and make sure she stays by his side. Whether it's somebody just temporary fling or somebody he's like, yo, I'm trying to go ahead and get this. Once you realize that, then you're like, hey, I can sell a perfume. Maybe it was we're using the dollar as the standard right now, but of course that's dropping worldwide. But let's say first you were selling perfumes that cost $2 and $5 and $10, but now you're able to sell $60, $150 perfumes to people. Why? Because now you figured out how to appeal to those people, and you go out and you practice that. Now, obviously, in our private group, we can give you more concrete strategies and everything like that. But hey, you could leave a comment section. Hey, I'm doing this type of business, whatever. Eventually, I'm going to have people calling in so that we can do this live. This is not going to just be, hey, pre-recorded video. As we're building up the audience, once I get up to a big enough audience size, I'll do it like a live stream or something like that. And we can do lives where a person is calling in and I say, hey, look, you can call me back publicly. So we can make sure this stuff works. If it ain't working, let's do these adjustments here so that it works for everybody. But that's all I want to say today. If you got 1 hour per day, 1 hour dedicated to just the one section is number one, you build your brand. After you've established that, now you are now marketing and selling that. Number three, you have the product that you have marketed and sold to, obviously. Obviously, you want to have the product first. If you're doing something online and you're just building your brand up, you don't really want to focus on something selling necessarily in the beginning or even a product. You just want to be able to build that brand and brand awareness. So when people think of a certain topic, let's say perfumes and everything, you just talk about perfumes all freaking day, giving them advice on how to make the perfect smells just come out and just go there. The delayed release ones versus the instant release. The ones where when you start sweating, they start to smell and the aromas really come out when it starts to mix with your own natural body scents. You see how I just said that? And I'm not even a perfume specialist right there. But those are things I already know about perfumes. The alcohol based ones versus oil based ones. How does that affect you in your health as well? Because yes, perfumes, if you do put them on before working out or certain scents, it actually hurts your performance when you work out. And yet, so many people, when I run past them when I'm running, I'm smelling them with huge amounts of these things on. And no wonder they're struggling because it hurts them to breathe. It makes it harder for them to breathe. And if it makes it harder for them to breathe when they're working out, imagine what it's doing to them on a regular basis in their health. People ain't worried about that, obviously. We're more worried about smelling good. So if you start to know all of this knowledge and you start to speak on that with your brand, you're able to tell people and you know what they are looking for because you're going to learn that. And you put an hour, 2 hours a day into that. Then you learn how to sell at the same time. That's was persuading people there. Now, when I say build your brand, I was about to end the video. Let me clarify this. When you're building your brand, that means you're building awareness to what you are doing. If nobody's watching, like what's happening here, then I need to adjust. Number one, I wasn't consistent enough. I built multiple YouTube channels, including a sports one, and I can knock above my weight. Now, this one, I'll see what happens in this topic. These topics aren't the sexy ones. So, unless it's that, oh, instant money right now, then it's going to have less subscribers. I'm not worried about less subscribers. Like I said on the previous one, give me about 100,000, 10 to 100,000 strong ass, willing, down to get empowerment. Particularly black empowerment is better, but getting empowerment, economic freedom. Those people having businesses on their own, getting able to bring money. Now they're going to have families and employees that they're going to affect in those communities, and boom, now you're affecting there. Imagine each person reaches about 5 people. That's 500,000 people. And those 500,000, the 400,000, actually, that's 600,000, including them. So I've affected 100,000. They affect another 500,000. Those people, some of them are going to reach 1, some of them are going to reach none or whatever. But if those people get affected, there's going to be a portion of them, call it 10% again, so 50,000 going to go there, and it's a cascading effect. So everybody starts to win. Now, what do you do if you got a brand online? Same thing that you would do in person. When I say walk up to people, some of you are already doing that, but you're not paying attention to who the audience is, which is why I said that comment earlier. Because you're going to hear that and you're not going to understand. This is why you play this video again. If you're a trainer, you're not selling the weight loss necessarily. You're selling sex appeal. Okay? When you're selling perfume, you're not selling the aroma necessarily. There's different things you're selling. If you're selling to the female, what are you really selling? There are several types that you're selling. She's trying to impress other women to get over and say, hey, look, I'm doing better than her. I got this nice smell. I'm not going to tell them what that is. She's trying to impress the men. They're like, wow. As I've told some women that want to make an impression on a man, you get you a nice smelling perfume that's more expensive than the masses can get. Don't have to be the most expensive, just more than what everybody gets. You wear your natural hair not braids, not a wig and everything, because then a man will have your natural body scent, not the smell of that wig, not the smell of those braids. You put that on, go out on a date with him, especially in closed areas like a car or Uber or something like that, and you make an impression because he smells that scent. You are one of the few that have that smell versus all these other people that have common smells, and then he remembers that. Now, whether he and you and him date long term, hey, but that's your advantage over other women. Now, imagine that. You just change your mindset on certain things, and boom, things just happen to start working out. It's not easy, no, but you get an advantage over people. Now, here's the thing: when you build your brand online, getting back to that, what you want to do is, for example, I think one person found me because I commented on another person's YouTube. Now, I wasn't being as consistent with this before because I had other things. But now that I've solidified my brands, for example, I had a brand as Uzo, and then I had this separately. I said, you know what? I'm combining both because they're basically talking the same thing, slight difference. Bam. So now I can just focus on one thing and focus on that. So I can spend 1 hour, 2 hours, and then I comment on these other YouTubers' videos that already have massive 100,000, 200,000, 50,000 subscribers and everything, and I got under 10 at the current moment of this recording. I got 9 subscribers. That's what I could do every single day that they upload. And spend a dedicated hour with that. Boom, make a comment on their video, listen to the video a little bit, make a comment, bam. You see how I just did that? Now, if I was on Twitter, same thing. Dedicating that time. If I was on TikTok, same thing. That's how you get your awareness out. You start tweeting at people, commenting under the biggest people's posts. Obviously, that helps them because now they're big, and it's like a mountain effect, and people will do the same thing to you. You don't have to talk about that celebrity gossip and drama that other people are doing, unless that's the field that you're in. And if you do it at a different angle. Now, that's one way to build it up. You don't have to do it that way where you comment on other people's things because there's different ways you can build an algorithm. I've done that twice, one with the crypto channel and then one with the sports channel. And that can happen. I think some of that's timing, luck, and getting things right at the right timing because when I tried to redo those with other channels, it just wasn't the same effect. Not until I started commenting under other people's things. And you got to do that right when they're posting because you want to be one of the first people there so you can get that top comment algorithm thing going for yourself. There you go. I just gave you the tips. Under 30 minutes. You got 32 more minutes. And at this point, 30 minutes, really, to go and apply what the hell I just said. You see, you got an hour. You got 30 minutes to listen to this. You got another 30 minutes to start applying it right freaking now. And if you listen to this video, just leave a comment below. Smash the like button, subscribe. We got our private group going, $30 a month. Obviously, that's one of the things that we're going to give you more value than $30 freaking dollars. Want to join that? Eventually, we'll have it in the comment below. But just comment if you want to join that because it's entrepreneurship. It's networking. We're going to talk about things with trading too, but to a lesser extent. We're going to talk about the same topics here, but in more detail so that we got you winning. Right now, I'm concerned with just building the audience now, then building that up. But I got to do both at the same time, just like I told you. The things that I'm telling you, I apply myself. So if we get that, it's a win-win scenario. You get more than $30 worth of value that you're able to pay that every month, then that means I have succeeded. Right? And you should be able to do that. I'll talk to you later. Peace out. You got 30 minutes. Apply it now.